B.L.O.C Party stands for Build, Lobby, Organize, and Campaign. We want to build with those who have similar goals and interests to us, and we want to create coalitions across the city of Philadelphia. We want to empower returning citizens, their friends, families, associates, all those who they love and who respect us, to move in the same direction as we move. We want to lobby for legislation that is going to positively impact those who are formerly incarcerated, those who are incarcerated, and their families, and the communities that they come from. We want to organize all the returning citizens who have vision, who can see, who can think, into a social, cultural, political, and economic movement that is unified, positive, and moves forward. We want to campaign for politicians who will sign onto the B.L.O.C Party platform, which means politicians who are going to do the things that we need for ourselves, for our families, our communities, those who are going to fulfill their promises because we are going to hold them accountable. The B.L.O.C Party is planning an event, which will be
September 27th at Vernon Park, 1500 Germantown Avenue, from 1 to 6 p.m. On that day, there will be different events going on throughout the park, and all these events will be geared to ex-offenders and their families. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to organize these all these ex-offenders all over the city and give them a platform that they can be more empowered in their own community. And then we're giving them the names. Now we're trying to change that negative connotation, call them ex-offenders and convicts, call them returning citizens. By giving them this new accolade, what it does, it helps them be more motivated to do the things they need to do to get back on track against society and be a positive force opposed to being a negative. So this day we'll have a lot of events going on throughout the park, and a lot of information will be given on this day for the families and the friends of all returning citizens. This is very important for the city of Philadelphia and other states, but we're going to start here in Philadelphia and try to move forward. What we're trying to do to the city is try to change how we're viewed. In the city hall, in the political stream, we have no power. And the only reason we don't have no power is we don't vote. We have over 200 to 300,000 returning citizens coming home in Philadelphia. And if we use this power base of those 200 to 300,000, we would change the scope of every election throughout the city of Philadelphia, even going to the governor's seat. This is something we need to do. This is something we have to do. We have to get the power back to who it rightfully belongs to, which is the people.
Many people think that as returning citizens, they can't vote. This is not true. When you come out of prison, you can vote. You can even vote if you're in county prison and you haven't been convicted yet. The importance of voting is two or threefold. First of all, people cry about lack of jobs, lack of opportunity, lack of education, lack of programs. And they spend a lot of time asking for these things. The reality is this: if the returning citizens in the city of Philadelphia unite and all vote in the same direction, educate themselves first about the issues, educate themselves about the politicians who are running, create new candidates. It's not about being Democratic. It's not about being Republican or independent. It is about who is going to do for those in the community. So the B.L.O.C Party would seek to identify those candidates who would be sensitive to the needs of our population, who will do the necessary work that we need in our community, who will make sure that our streets are clean, that we have money for programs, that we have money for entrepreneurs, so that a returning citizen can go into a bank and get a loan. What we actually need is a credit union for returning citizens. We need jobs for returning citizens, programs for returning citizens. We cannot depend upon the current crop of politicians to do this. So we must organize and make sure this happens ourselves. If we have 200,000 to 300,000 returning citizens and their families and associates in the community voting in the same direction, we are a power block. We are a voting block that can't be discounted. No one can get elected in the city of Philadelphia without the power of the B.L.O.C Party behind it. This is our objective, to be able to determine our own destiny, and to be able to determine what happens in our community, to hold politicians accountable for every word that they speak, and to make sure that our needs are taken care of. If you want your block cleaned up, if you want a safe block, if you want whole communities of blocks where there is no violence, there is no drugs, there is no strife, join the B.L.O.C Party. If you have friends or family in cell blocks that you want to come home, if you want to see the end of life sentencing, the death penalty, terrible sentences, if you want to vote for judges who will give fair sentences, if you want to vote for legislators who won't pass ignorant laws that hurt our people, join the B.L.O.C Party. The B.L.O.C Party is a concept whose time has come. Build, lobby, organize, campaign.
The time has come for us to stop waiting for the powers that be to give us jobs. We got to start creating our own jobs. People come home from institutions all over the state, and the first thing they do is try to find a job. And they know as soon as they put on their application, they have a record, they more than likely will not get that job. So we got to stop waiting for the people that be to give us jobs. We got to start creating our own jobs. One of the things we got to start doing is getting black businesses back in the neighborhood. Every neighborhood you go to now is nothing but Chinese stores, poppy stores, and bars. This is not how our neighborhoods were 30 years ago, 25 years ago. And we done got away from that. And because we got away from that, we done surrendered our neighborhoods to the powers that be. So we got to get the power back. And how do we do that? We got to build, lobby, organize a campaign to make that change in our own neighborhoods. But we have the power, but because we so used to being disenfranchised, we forget that we had that power. Because we don't believe in the powers that be. We don't believe in the political structure. Because what they have been doing for us over the decades. So now we're putting something together now that we can definitely change that. The only way that change is going to happen is we all have to be together. We have to come together. And we have to take the negative connotation off of who they say we are and stop describing ourselves as ex-convicts and convicts. This is not who we are. We are people who made mistakes, came home, and we want to put our lives back on track, and we are citizens.